do, whatever you do, don't march into the pizza warmer!
That dinosaur done crouched over that pizza!
Fresh slices, cheesy and nice, coming from the oven. It's party time, so for your homeboys and your crazy cousins. We came here to eat, we're not leaving until we're stuffed. And there'll be nothing left, nothing steak, not even a crust. All aboard for a fat boy trip, and you can call me captain. Don't forget the paper plates and the stack of napkins.
Pizza party, gonna have a good time. Pizza party, have a sip of red wine.
Ciao, paisans! Welcome to Joey Royale's Pizza Party, the only live stream where we talk about Slade for 1 hour. Just kidding. You missed some behind the scenes good stuff. I miss you. Let me take a look at you. Hey, congratulations on the honor roll. School is out. I was just checking the newspaper. I read the obituaries and then the local honor roll, and I saw your name on it. Good job. Thanks for working hard. How you been? I miss you. Look at this crew. Holy cow, the basement is full. We couldn't even go upstairs. Nona's got cards with her friends, so she sent us all down to the basement. I'm going to go around. We got John Hambone McGuire. We got the Neon Lord. We got Kyle Jameson from Vampire Cinema. Levi Nunez from Loot the Body. Dr. Metal from Onlyville eating those hot dogs in the Autocrat. And Levi Combs. That's right. Double the Levi for half the price. We are going to have a blast tonight. Woo! It's been a while. Right, guys? We got to get back on the horse with this. I missed everybody. I miss you guys. Just wrapped up a very busy spring. I got to start out. I'm not going to toot my horn the whole thing, all right, even though it's called Joey Royale's Pizza Party and everybody knows I'm a narcissist. But thank you so much for all the support during the Weird Heroes of Public Access Backer Kit campaign. I sent the last batch of backer packages out on Monday. Sorry for those last 8 people. I totally missed you on the spreadsheet. But all that stuff should be going out there now. Big thank you to Exalted Funeral, who is now carrying the book in their shop. I got some stuff on the Etsy if you missed out. I got the koozies, the dice, some extra zines. I got more. Oh, there's the little deal. Oh, Levi's putting that little seltzer in that koozie. I guarantee you it'll taste just a little bit more garlicky using that koozie. So enjoy if you're fans of garlic, because when you're here, you're family. So, before we get into all the good stuff, I'm really going to focus a lot on my friends tonight. But I want to tell, every time we start, I want to tell you a little story because things happen in my life, and I immediately think of you and all my friends in Spaghetti Land. So the other day, right, my daughter's birthday. Wonderful girl, innocent, beautiful, just loving life right now. She just turned 12, right? Little Coral. We get home, we got 3 dogs and 2 cats, so all rescues, right? And one of the cats recently became an outdoor cat. Well, go ahead, let it be free. We got coyotes everywhere. It's a tough world, but she wants to be free. So Tinky, we let her outside, right? Tinky disappears, not looking good. All right, we walk the dogs. Long story short, down the street a little bit, we saw that what might have been an accident. Long story short, the next couple days pass. We write her off. We love her. We send her our blessings. We get a note in the door saying, "Dear neighbor, if you are missing a gray cat, I have some bad news for you." All right, cat got hit by a car and got killed.
Oh,
It's all I know, yeah, but believe me, there's a happy ending. Trigger warning: the cat died. I should have done that ahead of time, but this has a nice ending. So I called the lady. She left a note, and come to find out, it's a person I work with, a beautiful lady from Brazil, wonderful person, a helper, you know. She goes, Joey, she calls me Joey. She goes, I got bad news. Tinky passed. But I held her in my arms as she passed. I pulled over. I wrapped her in my blouse. And I said, oh, my God, please don't feel any guilt. She said, no. It wasn't me. She goes, this white SUV. I'm looking for you, you son of a gun. This white SUV hit it on the way to work, took off, kept on going. This woman stops her car in the middle of a busy road, takes the cat, wraps it in a blanket, and sits with it in her car until the cat passes. Doesn't know it's mine. Takes it home. She and her husband have a funeral for the cat, buried in the backyard with the rest of their cats, picks out a stone in the backyard that matches Tinky's fur, right? And this person didn't even know it was me. This person just did a random act of kindness. All right? There's two types of people in this world. There's the knuckleheads in the white SUV that keep on driving. And there's my beautiful friend Rute, who stops in the middle of traffic, is late for work, takes time, and does the right thing when nobody is looking. If she didn't know that was me, nobody would have known that that good deed happened. All right? Bonus! A week later, she gives me a call. Joey, she calls me Joey. My neighbor had kittens. You kids want a cat? Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royale family, little Louie. I got a kitten the size of a mozzarella ball right now upstairs, the circle of life. Tinky's at peace. This little baby's got a new home, and the world goes on. There is good out there, folks. There is good out there. There's a lot of bad, but don't forget the yin to the yang. There's a lot of good. So that's my little story for the day. I got a ton of stuff over here. We've had a beautiful
Hey, Joey, I just want to make sure you're going into the up-tempo number after the dead dog dedication, just like Casey Kasem.
That's right. So we were
exactly
talking about,
right here.
You were right. Levi,
Yeah.
you got a prophecy.
Exactly.
You had the prophecy. We were talking about the Casey Kasem dedication to the dead dog. We did it. Hey! This one goes out to Tinky. Wherever she is, I know she is purring.
I have to come out of an up-tempo. Goddamn.
All right. So hopefully that pet cemetery is not cursed and there's no little boy named Gage playing on the highway. Let's talk about let's talk to friends. Hey, Neon Lord on the ones and twos. How are you doing?
I'm muted. There we go. I'm good. How's it going out there and wherever you live in Fairhaven, if you will?
Fairhaven's been very busy. That's why we got a lot of the guests on tonight. But how about in the toxic wasteland? You got a lot going on now, buddy. I just got a beautiful box in the mail with Neon Lord minis, and boy, they are detailed. They are beautiful. Bry, chef's kiss to you and Saul on these. They are spot on.
Oh, thank you.
Tell the people about them. Come on, wake
Oh,
up.
well, hey. So, yeah, we did
thousands of people watching this.
we did a minis campaign, and they are finally got here with the woes of glow-in-the-dark pinky rings.
Look at that
We
beautiful
finally got them figured out and done, and now we can ship out all the minis right before the next minis launch in August.
All right, so can people still buy these? Well, they got to wait.
Wait till August.
Wait till August.
And
Chris-
first
yeah.
48 this time, not a glow ring, but a Grimace mini.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
I like how you just put it right
Amazing.
out there. No, like changing no smile or purple fat monster. It's Grimace. That's what he is.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you could probably get away with, I think, Grimace. I think I spell it with 2 M's.
Oh, good. That'll save you. Phew! I got worried for a second.
I mean, Full Moon Pictures hasn't come after me about Munchie yet. I think.
Oh boy.
And I got the I'm supporting McDonald's right now. They can't. I'm untouchable.
Look, we got a well-dressed. Let's just go around. We got a well-dressed crew tonight. I'm going to talk about this. I got my Hive Scum shirt. In New England, there is only war. Tiger Wizard and I, guys, next year you got to come. Went to one of the greatest conventions I've ever been to in my life. Under the Dice Fest, with the Hive Scum crew. You guys remember Handsome Steve from the pizza party? This was amazing. Now, this was mostly miniatures, a lot of Mordheim and skirmish stuff, but it changed my life. I just went to Harbor Freight 2 days ago, and I got a Dremel. I'm making minis. I'm going nuts.
You're not drilling out barrels of guns, are you?
No,
Okay,
I'm
good.
making them. You should see my fingers. You can't see in the thing, but it's all crazy glue, and I scrubbed my fingers in the tub right before because I was covered in spray paint. I'm nuts about this game. This one right here. It's its last day on Kickstarter for like that post buy thing. This is called Sunrot, and it's by a guy that I met that I just totally went nuts over. I mean, all my friends inspire me, but Matt Ross is a guy that I met who blew me away. This is one of his books called Variations in Plastic, where it's kind of a journal, but it's also some of his minis. He's a master kit basher. He does oil painting courses on minis, and he's known, you guys probably know him, he's on Instagram as Totally Not Panicking. This guy completely changed my view of what miniature art is. And this game, Sunrot, is part skirmish, part role-playing game. You draw cards, you roll dice. There's classes. Here's the Wizard, and I want to show you. Look, I got it. They had tattoo artists at the con, and I got that one tattooed on me. And he saw me getting it done. He's like, you got to take a look at the game. And I did a demo. Guys, you have to check this out. I'm building terrain now. I'm building all these freaky minis. It's like
Richard Dreyfuss and Close Encounters, right? You're like, you're making the mashed potato volcano.
I'm not joking. The mini setup that he had was like this Grimdark Plateau, very similar to that mashed potato thing, but with more detail and grimmer. But check out, oh God, thank you, Under the Dice. Thank you, Hive Scum. Tiger Wizard and I, the Arcane crew was there. It was just a beautiful time, great community. While I was there, I highly recommend the quality of stuff coming out now, guys. Have you guys heard of Glaive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Chef's Kiss. This is a beautiful, glossy, very pro, everything RPG mini. There is philosophy, there is music, there is narrative, game philosophy, interviews with Handsome Steve and the Hive Scum crew, Engage, and all those cool guys. This was wonderful. I got to meet the creator. He was walking around. That was CJ Samavia. I think Exalted might have this in stock, but this is the future. Pick up Glaive. High quality stuff right there. Some fun stuff I got in the mail. Bri, I know you'll like this. I've been recollecting the Pee-wee Fun Packs. I got the collection of masks.
Nice.
And I got the tattoos. Who knows what we're going to do with these? But I'm thinking about doing a Patreon, and I might do some WHPA-based ones focused on the characters. Hey, Bryce Spellman, look at this beautiful WHPA dice tray. Oh, yeah, you got a mask, too.
There you go.
It's always on the desk. Can't live without it.
Tim Snyder, the man, just got this in the mail yesterday. Tales from... 13 this week, part 2. Part 1, and I got part 2 coming. This is a third-party supplement for WHPA. Really nails with the vibe. I love it. One of my favorite things is the Mystery Stairway to Nowhere.
Yeah.
You probably have to have one close to your house, though, right? Like the stairs in the middle of the
I'm
woods?
thinking about building one.
Do you know?
I'm not joking.
Did you ever see all the videos about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's deep lore. At the Under the Dice Fest, one of my great friends, he's from Massachusetts, Northampton area. My friend Dan, who's down with the Arcane crew, we became fast friends, he and his partner, and he brought me this.
Oh.
I love you, Dan. I love you. I cherish this. I cherish this giant-sized Man-Thing #1. I have fallen in love with Man-Thing. I really have. Thanks to Dr. Metal. We'll get into that in a minute. Actually, oh yeah, there he goes. All right. Hey, Dr. Metal, while you're here, actually, let me do wisdom check, and then we'll get into that stuff, okay? Here we go. Wisdom check. And now, oh yeah, with all that backer kit money, it's all going to my head. Forget about the college fund. I'm buying fezzes. All right? Ho-ho! Here we go. Oh, Levi, there you go. You got me at home, too. Here we go. Here is a little word. Levi Combs, we were talking about Epictetus. Here's a little Epictetus. Short and to the point. Concise philosophy is the best philosophy. Here we go. Good is good. Goodness exists independently of our conception of it. The good is out there, and it always has been out there, even before we began to exist. The good, folks, no matter how dark, the light is always there, right? What does Leonard Cohen say? There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Right, Levi? Okay, and now from the Garbage Pail Kid deck, I pulled this morning in preparation, thinking of you. I shuffle the deck 3 times, and then I fan it 3 times. I put my hand over it, and I say, what do the people of Spaghetti Land need to hear today? And the Oracle tells us this was a great one and very, very timely. I love this card, by the way. 7 of Cups. There's TV Stevie surrounded with the glittering choices of life. And it's upright. So let's go to the Oracle. 7 of Cups, TV Stevie, upright. You're feeling dazed by all the glittering, exciting opportunities in front of you. You have so many options to choose from, and each seems better than the last. Be careful to keep your wits about you when making decisions, because life isn't a movie. When things seem too good to be true, they usually are. That's once again concise but deep. And I was thinking about this one today because I pulled it this morning and I was on my way home from work. I have a week off after tomorrow. And I was pulling out of the driveway of work and I said, what if I made it big? You know, because I usually stop at the gas station and I get a lotto ticket. So I could just give up everything and write. And I pull out of the parking lot of my job and I'm like, I think I'd be kind of lost if I didn't have the pressure of the job, the pleasures of the job, the camaraderie of the people I work with. Would I really want to be totally untethered, left to my own devices, idle hands? Neon Lord, you're shaking your head no. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, I took 2 years off, did the writing thing. I mean, it was fine and it was fun, but I needed something, you know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. And you recently
went back to work, and you messaged me the other day, and I was very happy to read this. I was almost nude online. Something was made me very happy. The happiness of my friend. You said best job ever.
Yeah, 100%. And
you are prolific. You really don't sleep that much, literally. I mean, you're always going. You're running. You know, you got a functional family. You did your service, and you constantly write and put stuff out. Every day there's something new on your Discord. Yet, I was very surprised and happy to hear that you got a new job and you're enjoying it, and you're still balancing your creativity.
Yeah, but I think that helps balance and helps the creativity juices flow, because then not only do you have less time to, like, you know, you have to be more concise with your time. It's like, okay, I got to crank this out, and it's fun to do it rather than like, I got 8+ hours to not do it.
Sure.
Stare at the computer. And then having that time to think outside of away from the computer helps a lot too.
Yeah. So don't push yourself too hard. Don't be blinded by the glitter. All right. Kill your idols. I gotta say it. You know, chart your own course, and don't wish for somebody else's life. You look at these. I got into an argument with my sister at Sunday dinner, guys, at Father's Day, because I was making fun of one of her pop idols, okay? I won't say her name because I'll probably be offed, Beyonce. But I said, a lot of these people, they're not even individuals anymore. They're corporations. And, imagine trying to go to the store to get some Choco Blisses or some Polly-O string cheese. She can't do that at 8 o'clock at night. I wouldn't trade that in for all the money in the world. I live down the street from them. I love going to Stop and Shop at night and getting stuff. They can't do that. Michael Jackson can't go to Stop and Shop anymore. That's
Well,
because
Well, there's other reasons.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, right?
yeah.
You're talking about Michael Jackson down on the corner that sells fireworks, right?
Michael Jackson didn't, but his sister did.
But his sister did, just like the time he came to your house to use the bathroom. All right. Oh, and one more thing.
He goes by Mike. All right.
Judge Rooster, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Judge Rooster, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is English leather on the go. I got this in the mail. Look at this, guys.
How many of those did Ben have in high school?
Yeah.
It's like the
thank you,
Pepperidge
Rooster.
Farm of good smells.
I got, yeah. I love it. Soap, cologne, hairdressing, pre-electric lotion, cologne, and all-purpose lotion. All right, we're going to get crazy with that all-purpose lotion in a little bit, me and Fred Willard. All right, so that's a whole other story for the green room, guys. Hi, let's get into my friends. Enough about me. 26 minutes in and I haven't shut up. Dr. Metal, we have missed you. You have been doing the work of a great dad with the Cub Scout, with the Boy Scouts and everything. What have you been up to otherwise, pal?
Reading a lot of comic books to keep myself sane.
Yes.
That's what I've been doing lately, and buying a bunch of books from my past and books that weren't the most expensive thing, but are near and dear to me. So the course I went on this week started with this bad boy here. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Sure can.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Spider-Man in the Master of Kung Fu.
Yeah, so this sucker came, my cousin, God rest his soul, passed away a few years ago, gave me a box when I was a kid. Sucker gave me a first appearance of Elektra in there and doesn't know that. But this one was a big deal to me. It was, I read it, I'm like, holy cow, there's Spider-Man, there's this Bruce Lee looking guy. They're fighting with Black Widow. And there's Nick Fury. They're on a helicarrier. There's Hydra and Silver Samurai. So insane stuff. Ended up blowing my mind as a kid. I'm like, this is awesome. As you get a little older, you're like, you remember that book? I'm gonna dig that out. Well, that whole run had it was a young Chris Claremont, pre-X-Men,
Right.
I believe, and Buscema art for the whole thing. So Buscema is like, that's the chef's kicks to everything 70s and 80s with Marvel, and in my mind is still at the tops for me. So anyway, I said, well, I'm gonna go back and read some more of this Master of Kung Fu. And I'm going back to the OG stuff. So God bless the Cumberland Free Library. I got this bad boy trade that does the entire series. These things are insane, and the library has them for free. I start going into it, and the plot is fantastic. It's no wonder that Disney's scared of it today. It involves him being the son of the famous Fu Manchu, not Dr. Mental's favorite sludge metal band, who I met at.
I love Fu Manchu, the band.
Yeah, they're like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
But the mythical evil Chinese mastermind of the early 1900s, who started the whole yellow scare.
Right.
You know what? Cool villain's a cool villain. And I'm not
in the words of the Kinks, help save Fu Manchu, Moriarty, and Dracula.
Yeah, so he comes out, the whole story's crazy. You got Shang-Chi figuring out that his dad is evil after he tries to make him kill somebody. And then he's running around all over the place in his gi with his headband. There's one point where he gets knocked off a boat, ends up coming ashore in Miami Beach, and people are like, who's the guy in the pajamas? It goes from there to there's one point where he just tries to disguise himself, but he still has the headband on.
Nice.
I don't know what they're writing, but it's fantastic. So the book's great. The book even references, you can tell why it's made. There's like 2 pages where the guys in New York are like, he looks like one of those guys from the theater over on 42nd Street.
Oh boy.
So for Brother Levi and my other connoisseurs of the black belt cinema, that's where the craze started. That's where the character came from. So this thing goes on, and you've got some of the coolest. I'm gonna pull a couple pages for you here because it just blew my mind. Like if you can see that baby there, hang on. I'm gonna try to get it. Yeah, it's hallucinations.
Well, I was gonna say that's pretty psychedelic.
Mhm.
It's insane for that period in time, and just to come out of nowhere. Holy cow. And then like look at this one. This is in Fu Manchu's Assassin's Den.
I love the color.
Yeah, it's straight out of that period. And I'm just blown away by it. I keep getting more and more excited every page I get. They finally got to their first Marvel character crossover. And Joey, you know, I got this one. As soon as I got it off auction, I'm like, oh shit, there's Man-Thing. That's going in the bin.
Hell yeah.
Big thing for Dr. Metal. Anything with Man-Thing goes in the bin. This one's crazy. This is part of that Florida story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting like this Goomba, like drug lord down there.
Hey, let's not get
I know. Hey, it's a stereotype. We've got them all in this thing. So he ends up down in Florida and he's fighting this like assassin guy on the beach who's like a samurai gone wrong. Okay, go with it, right?
Or
So they're
samurai
fighting on
gone
the
right.
beach and they
No,
go
right.
right into the Everglades, and who's there? Man-Thing just walking around the swamp.
Naturally.
There's one point where Shang-Chi gets launched and gets stuck halfway through Man-Thing.
Oh, I love it
Man-Thing's
when that
walking
happens.
around with Shang-Chi stuck through him. This is the stuff I'm reading at 12:30 at night when I'm insomniac and trying to get to sleep, and I'm going, what did I just read? Do I go back 2 pages? No, you just go with it.
Yeah, you got to
So-
just keep on plowing through.
Yeah,
I was
so-
reading one the other night where the clown shoots himself in the head in the swamp. One of the greatest
There.
man.
I'm there.
Like,
So
what am I reading here? He really did it. He pulled the trigger.
That's the build a
God
figure
bless
that
us.
Hasbro.
Yeah,
used
right.
today.
That's the Build-A-Figure.
Maybe we did.
The Bud Dwyer clown. Oh,
Oh,
Excuse me, some other people might have done
right.
that. I got to stay infamous here, but yeah, so really into that and getting that whole, just getting into that, and this book has blown me away. I remember some of the books in the 80s when he showed up with Wolverine, and I remember when they wrote off the character, but those first jams, they're like High Times magazine special meets Kung Fu Theater with every Neon Dalo color you can get.
Nice. Nice. Well, you haven't done me wrong with suggestions yet. So, folks, you heard it here first. The Master of Kung Fu. Beautiful. Dr. Metal, thank you very much. Let's say hi to some of our guests, shall we?
I know a few of these guys. Some of them I don't.
Yeah. Well, listen, we want to introduce a newcomer to the show. Definitely not to the neighborhood, but definitely to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, first time appearance on the Pizza Party, certainly not the last, because this guy has been knocking it out of the park. All the way from Vampire Cinema, Mr. Kyle Jameson. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, holy moly. It's so good to be here. It's crazy. I didn't know you can actually see everybody watching it. I thought you were just doing a bit when you were like, oh, you look great. We can actually see
I
everybody.
see everybody. You see that guy without the shirt on? Come on, cover up. It's a family show. So, Kyle.
Put a shirt on, DeShane.
Yeah. Kyle, for the uninitiated, why don't you just give a little bit of a pitch of who you are, what you do. First, before you even get into that, I want to thank you, because from the beginning, you have been a supporter of Weird Heroes of Public Access. You've been a volunteer in Fairhaven, and you have put out some quality stuff. So talk to us a little bit. Tell the people in Spaghetti Land who you are.
Oh boy. Who I really am, or who I am as Vampire Cinema?
Well, the real you, Vampire Cinema.
Okay, right. Yeah, Vampire Cinema started with a weird dream I had about a movie theater that was run by maybe vampires. They would show movies that Kurt Russell from Vanilla Sky, where he's playing Atticus Finch. He's a detective. He's trying to get clues from these movies. And I was like, that's really weird. And I kind of thought about it all day. And that night when I was going to sleep, I said, I wonder if I can get back to that vampire movie theater. And I woke up the next day and I knew a little bit more about it. Maybe I just made it up. Maybe there's another dream. And I put it into a pamphlet form and mailed it to anybody who would accept it. And then I thought, this is a lot of fun. I should do more of this stuff. And so we did Electric Brain, which is my tribute to Mega Man.
Yep.
And taking 8th grade Chinese as a para. And now we're doing Weird Heroes of the Great Outdoors, because I don't know if I'm the only one. Apparently not. The back kids had great support, so thank you to all of you who I'm seeing right now on the screens. Growing up rural, living fairly rural, Fairhaven is great, but like I'm just a lot of the adventures that I know from my past and family stories, it's happening out in the woods, on the lakes, not in towns. And I thought, I got to make a setting for this, and it's kind of blown up, and it's going to be bonkers, and I can't wait for everybody to get it.
You sent me a preview the other day, and I went through it at work, and I was immediately struck by the layout. The layout it's got something for everybody. It's a cohesive mishmash of images. Like, there's collage, there's illustrations, it's everything. How did you plan for that? That's a lot.
It is. It was going to be one book, just a simple, pretty straightforward zine. Then it turned into 3 zines, and a lot of it is on the Get Haunted Industries Discord server. There's a drawing club.
Yeah.
That we were just kind of screwing around while the backer kit was going on for the book, and it kind of became a thing we did every week. And as I was working on this, I was doing the drawing prompts and kind of incorporating it. So friends of the drawing club will recognize some of my drawings in there. Some other drawing club members' drawings are in there. It's and then some of it's growing up with computers and having interest in art and creativity. I've always kind of been doing art on computers and paper, and so I just kind of put it all together and just really went for it. Did whatever I wanted. It doesn't quite match the the laundromat newspaper rack look as some of the other WHPA stuff, but I did what I wanted, and
yeah, and I applaud that. I'm glad you're doing your own thing. We're all giving you thumbs up there. That's what it's all about, man. Chart your own course. Now, your family's a big part of this too, right? You've incorporated family photos, which I think is really touching.
Yeah, that was my partner. Her family are real, authentic weird heroes up in the great outdoors.
Nicely put.
They've lived up in the Northwoods for 5 generations for sure. And my partner's grandpa he's passed now, but he was just a real pillar of the community up there. He was the first one to test the ice every winter and the first one to fall into the lake. He was he's crawling into bear dens, blowing up stuff. He did some freelance demolition work. It's all in the book. Awesome. I just took these stories and put a little twist on some of them. Some of them are pretty much unchanged. And went through all the pictures, and
I'm going to read right from
everybody.
The kit. This is your invitation to explore the last days of the Northwoods as a truly wild place as it tries to survive the latest advances of modern industry. In the twilight of this wilderness, a power is moving in defense of the woods. Legends are waking up and finding that they are strong. The Northwoods is calling for heroes. I absolutely love this flavor, man. This is going to be really cool.
No doubt.
Thanks. It's I really can't wait for everybody to get into it. It's primarily set up as a vacation destination for your Fairhaven heroes. They can head up to the great outdoors, joined John Candy and John Lithgow, and any of those movies where people are going from the Chicago suburbs up to northern Wisconsin or Minnesota or wherever they end up.
Paul Bunyan makes an appearance.
He does. There is a Paul Bunyan, and he is up there. My partner and I, we went to when we first married, we were going to college in Bemidji, where Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox are right on the lake, just kind of looming large over the whole area. So
that's so cool.
Put some of that in there. That's I don't want to spoil anything too much, but X Tech has been poking around up in the Northwoods with a little help from Paul Bunyan. So,
well, Kyle is let's see, it is still up, right?
It's still
there
up.
Are 3 days left. You
3
have
days. It ends at
your goal. So check it out on BackerKit. I don't know if I can do this. I'm gonna try to put it in the chat. If not, I'll put it in the notes later. Oh yeah, here we go. Ooh, look at me. I know computers now. There you go. All right, I just put it in the chat. So folks, grab it while you can. There is an exclusive cover too, right?
There is. Again, a very dear friend of mine from Bemidji that I knew from way back, 20 years ago when we were living there. Our oldest children were born like less than a month apart. We kind of were young adults all together up there in the metal scene, and he's doing some real crazy heavy metal art now. And I was like, I gotta get you in on this project, and he was more than happy to do. He's like, what do you want? And I said, well, you lived in Bemidji, like you know what it's all about up there. I said, just go for it. And so there's 24 different northern Minnesota species represented on this super heavy, very rad cover. And it's gonna be a t-shirt too.
The boxes. Family, friends, individualism, and creativity. Kyle, you get the chef's kiss. Beautiful job. And I can't wait to get this into people's hands, man. Very well done, and thank you. And if you haven't, everybody, check out the Get Haunted Industries drawing club. That is like I started a Discord. I had no idea what I was doing, but immediately Kyle and some other guys, you might remember Wolf Manzella from the crew too. Like they just went nuts with this drawing club. It's a very supportive group of people that come together for weekly prompts. And the stuff that's coming out of it is amazing. I mean, some of you guys have jumped onto art classes. You guys hold each other accountable for creating. You give each other feedback. It's a very special place. And even though I haven't put much on there, I read it every day, and it just brings me a lot of joy. So thank you for carrying that torch, you and your partners on there.
Yeah, it's been, this is the community that you built, and we're just riding that same wave. So
well, thank you. Thank you very much. And in a little bit, we're going to talk to Levi Combs and Hambone, who are with us, about their WHPA. But let's put a little meat in this WHPA sandwich, because we're not going to talk about something that's not WHPA, but something that is near and dear to my heart. The end of the school year, for me, my job was going nuts. I had sick family, this and that. You never know what's going on in people's lives. Things can get a little bit dark. I don't share it online. But in the mail, out of nowhere, came something that touched my heart. Now, I have 2 kids, and I love them dearly, and I'm watching them grow. All right, Elvis is now turning 15 next week, and he's got a girlfriend. And it was like the first con I went to without him under the dice, because he's got a girlfriend and he's got friends, and I'm very happy for him. He's living a great teenage life, but there's not as much time for dad anymore. So I was feeling a little lonely. All right, it happens. That's the Sisyphean job of being a parent. You push them to be able to meld into the world and be social, only then to watch them go disappear and be very social, and you're just the chauffeur and the bank, if you will. So out of nowhere, this arrives. Skate Wizards, Intro to the Eye of the Dome City. I got Skate Wizards from Loot the Body from Levi when it first came out. And it was like, it was the first, even though I tried to force some systems on my kids, Skate Wizards is the one that really stuck, and Neon Lords with Elvis, to the extent that he would invite friends over and they were demanding Skate Wizards sessions. and this will always be so close to my heart because it was a bridge to my son and his friends as they got older. Okay, Levi, it is so good to see you. Levi, to me, is the phoenix of my friend group, literally rising from the ashes. Not to harp on it too much, but I got to give you a round of applause, man, for showing up to the world still. Levi's stuff, his cool collection, and probably a whole bunch of other stuff, Levi, was lost to the California wildfires not too long ago. And this wasn't a guy who complained or did that stuff online. He let everybody know he was okay, showed a couple of pictures, and helped others, and created stuff and sends random packages in the mail. I got the tape. I got another tape. I'm building a Loot the Body collection. There's a tape. There's stickers, a character sheet. This has been played in my car. Yes, I do have a tape deck still, and
Nice.
I'm out. This is my summer trip to summer school, and a little bookmark that. Yep, that's going on the back. I'm gonna take that to the back of my car, not get pulled over. But Levi Nunez, we love you. I'm sorry you had to go through all the baloney that you went through, but I see a shining brand new SG behind you. I see you smiling in a Black Sabbath shirt. The sun is shining in your living room. Welcome back, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. It could be worse. Has been worse. It's worse for a lot of other folks, and I'm good. It's funny, you know, how like my first reaction after the fires and because my home is actually still standing. You know, I call it like the cancer cocoon because we can't go in yet. There's got to be a lot of cleaning that has to happen because the structures that are standing sort of inhaled the burning of all the other homes, right? So there's a lot of cleaning, and you don't want to clean. You need to clean in such a way that the insurance company will reimburse.
Right.
And that's so slow. So we're hoping to get back home maybe end of summer. I don't know how long it'll take, but my studio did burn, and that was like, you know, Loot the Body HQ. And so little by little, my feeling right after it was I don't want to make any music again. I don't want to write anything again. You'll probably recall that fire happened right after I rolled out against the cult of the hippie commune.
Yeah.
I had just put out my DCC funnel, and my stock burned. Like all the zines, all the tapes, everything that I'd just gone. You know, so I was really like, screw it. But Michael Shung, who's my partner in Skate Wizards, who lives like a mile south of me, was also impacted and displaced by the fire. And so we were going through it together. And so there's a certain ebb and flow, things like this. And when we were coming up, we were like, we should finish this game that we're mostly done with because we need to show that we're still here. Like, you know, Altadena and our community and all, we're still here, and we still have this desire, and we want to connect. And it just sort of became like this thing that meant a lot more because we've had this game sort of almost done for over, I mean, this is pre-hippie commune, maybe 2 years almost. We've had this game almost done for a long time. And after the fire, we just got this burst of energy to finish it. And out of all the buildings that burned in downtown Altadena, one of the 4 or 5 that survived is our local printer, Debbie, Miss Dragon Print and Copy, where we run off all the Skate Wizard stuff, and she was still there, you know. And so it really, like, in Skate Wizards, we put in the back of it, you know, proudly made in Altadena, because all of a sudden we got this just sense of like, we need to do it. You know, we're still around, we're still here. This is important. Even though it's just a stupid game, it is super important, you know. So it's imbued with all this wonderful, like, it's enabled us to put all those good feelings and good vibes into it, you know. And so it's been really nice. It's been really nice in that way. And I'm really fortunate that Mike and I are like very on the same page about it all. And I was listening, I forget what podcast I was listening to. You know how we all listen to gaming podcasts. Yeah. And you know how you watch a movie or you listen to a song and you're like, I want to play in a game that feels like that song. Sure. Or I want to play in a game that feels like that movie. I was so lucky that I came across Mike's art. Yeah. And I thought, I want to play a game that looks like that art. And I got a hold of Mike, who I didn't know, and he said, hell yeah. And so from the very beginning, I wrote the game looking at Mike's art, you know, and so it very much has this feeling like it really is like I do the majority of the writing, but it's all really like looking at Mike's art, going, this stuff is so cool. Who are these people? What are they doing? What's their, you know, and it came from that. And I think it's so rare and so unique because a lot of times it happens the other way around.
Yeah.
And the writer has an image in their head and there's a compromise that happens. I'm fortunate that I've never had to do that.
I had no idea that was the origin story.
Yeah.
That you were inspired by Michael's art, who you didn't know. That's
and he
amazing.
lives literally like, you know, a 5-minute drive from me.
Oh,
And I was in Portland just going through Instagram when I found his art, and I was working because I've been working on a game. I've been working on another game that hopefully will come out this year too, but I've been working on another game for a long ass time. And so I thought, while that game comes out, let me do something else. And I found Mike's art. I got a hold of him. Turns out we knew some people in common, but we're in the same neighborhood. And when I met him and I said, Skate Wizards, he's like, hell yeah. What is it? What do we do? And it's just been such a great partnership the whole time, you know, and to the, you know, like this magical item, you know, which is, this is the stash of the Archmage. If you, in the adventure, Skate Wizards Into the Eye of the Dome City, which is our second adventure, the Archmage knows you're going out into dangerous territory. So he gifts you a spliff from his sacred stash. And so once you fire it up, you have 4 minutes and 20 seconds to use it. The first PC to blaze it rolls a D10, adds a result, and then passes it to the left. The next PC rolls a D10 plus the previous person's and passes to the left. The next PC rolls a D10 and adds all the previous ones. If anybody drops it, if anybody rolls if anybody fumbles, it's a 0. It's cashed. You get nothing.
Oh my God!
But you could
Passing
potentially
the
keep
to the left-hand side.
Yes, and so this to me is like Mike and I are so on board with this. You know, like we're so like on the same page with the ridiculousness and the fun and the carefree sort of aspect of it. So we're really excited to. The first game was very much like a little mini dungeon exploration, but with this one, in my mind, I was thinking of like Logan's Run. I was thinking of the latter Planet of the Apes movies. I was thinking of Soylent Green. This like a dome city, you know, that you're what is it, or Zardoz, you know?
Oh my!
Who lives in there? What is the deal, right? And so that's the whole vibe. The Skate Wizards are sent. They live in a post-apocalyptic world, and the Archmage says, I hear rumors that a civilization has survived this apocalypse. Go investigate. And so that's the adventure, which is different than a bunch of mini dungeons. You're now Skate Wizards entering what is in my mind like a Zardoz type dome city, and you have to investigate how have you guys survived this whole time when the rest of the world is like barely making it in shambles, you know? And so that was the crux of the idea, and this is like one adventure. It's different than the first one. You do a lot of investigation. You do a lot of got to talk to the NPCs. There's some stuff that happens that's weird. Why is that weird? So anyway, that's the vibe of it. And of course, you know me because I'm a musician. I made a soundtrack.
Of course, there's always the extension.
There's always.
Levi always adds that extra panache.
Well, to me, what this is really is like, you know, when you're writing and you're really getting high off your own supply, but you know, nobody's going to want to read this. Like, this is interesting to one person, and that's the guy writing this.
Yeah.
That's what becomes the songs. Like when the lore is just too much, I reach for the guitar, and I'm like, that's what the songs are. Because I did grow up listening to like Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, or like Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, like all these albums when you're like, okay, hold on, something's like they're trying to communicate something. What's going on here? You know, so the lore dump is always in the songs. And if the GM wants to really get into it, they can listen to the songs, and the lyrics inform the world. And by the time you're ready to play it for your people, you're sort of immersed in the world a little more. And it ties that thing, like I want to write songs that match Mike's art, that feels like the game, that looks like, you know, it's all sort of the same creative impulse. You know, it all sort of comes out of the same place. Yeah.
I love that, man. And that's from the moment I met your stuff, which was, I believe, the original Skate Wizards and then against the Cult of the Hippie Commune, like it just spoke to me. Like this guy, like we think similarly in that like everything we do falls under this umbrella of this world that exists in our mind. And then there's these things, man. It just once you start leaning into yourself, once you start doing what you said about writing for, yeah, what you're talking about, if I can paraphrase, is writing for yourself,
For sure.
right? Like that's you have to write for yourself. That if you don't support what you do, if you don't believe in what you do, then nobody else is going to care about it. Once you start writing for yourself, and it takes over your brain, all these other things pop up, and then the synchronicity of meeting Michael and him saying, "Yeah, let's do it." I mean, that's what this sewer rats thing is.
Yeah. And the thing about it, which I love, is it's a straight up partnership. Like we make no difference between the writing or we're 50-50. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
I think about like bands that have had issues about like who, I do most of the songwriting. We just go 50. I think about REM, like a band that made it so long. Those guys were four-way split. That's
Yep.
what that was. And that's why I think they were able to make it so long. And I'm fully cognizant of the fact that without looking at Mike's art, there is no game. It doesn't work to me with somebody else's art. It is that same expression. It's the same exact thing. And we're really lucky, that we have that sort of synergy around us.
That's beautiful, man. And art leading the game too. Kyle, I didn't know about your process, but one thing that struck me about Weird Heroes for Great Outdoors is like the art really paints the pic. Like if you took out all the text, I could still get a feel of the flow that you're going for.
Yeah, it's definitely one is feeding into the other. I'll have an idea and I'll start thinking about what kind of imagery or composition of the layout or whatever, and how that's going to inform the text, and how that's just that back and forth. And then I'm also doing a lot of art with my kids, especially my fifth grader who just finished fifth grade, Kieran, has been hanging out with me in the mornings before school, and we would just draw pictures together. And that's also really inspiring a lot of what's going on in the book.
Beautiful. Levi, where can everybody find Skate? Like, so that's what I was confused. Is Skate Wizards out?
Skate Wizards is out. skatewizards.bigcartel.com. We have our own Big Cartel set. We were lucky enough with the first run that we were able to fund the second run. And we thought, should we do a Kickstarter or not? And having just done a Kickstarter, having seen all my stuff burn, I didn't want to go right back to another Kickstarter, and we thought,
Sure.
we can do a run on our own based on having done well enough with the last one. And really, my whole theory, my whole concept about our scene is that we all pass the same $6,000 around. It literally, there's $6,000 at any given point, and we're just passing them around to each other.
I literally just passed you $18 right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I literally just bought it right now.
There you go.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. That warms my heart. Thank you. But I do feel that way. Whenever I see a Kickstarter, it's like I know it's gonna come back around. It's gonna go. I'm gonna get a koozie at some point, and at some point you're gonna get a zine, and at some point it's just it is what it is. And that to me is like I'm so obsessed with the idea of scenes, of artistic scenes. I feel like one artist is like one unit of measure, and sometimes there's artistic partnerships, but those partnerships can eventually be part of a scene, and then scenes become movements. But a scene, an artistic scene, when you think back of the people who have really done things in the world of art, cinema, whatever it might be, they always belong to a scene. They always belong. And when I I was born in the 70s, I was obsessed with like 60s rock and roll, and at first it was always the Beatles. There's only so many Beatles albums, and you were quoting the Kinks earlier. When you discover the Kinks, when you discover the Zombies, when you dig into people, the Who, other bands that were part of that scene, you realize there was no monopoly on like the great stuff that a scene can create,
Sure.
And I think that's what we are. We are part of a scene, and it's so, and the bummer is that scenes only exist in a moment in time, but we're in there, we're in that bubble now. Right. And it's such a good feeling to have that.
I'm going
especially
to milk
because
that bubble as long as possible. Look
exactly.
at this crew. Look what everybody is doing right now.
Exactly. I was at Levi. I was at Mike's house the other day, and he got Magic and shit, and we were looking at it, just admiring, the cassette vibe and the whole thing. It just felt like we are part of the same scene, and we could not have created Magic and shit. But you look at Skate Wizards, and you look at Magic and shit, like, yeah, this is part of the same vibe. This is part of the same group, and it just feels great, And I think that's one of the reasons that Mike and I said we just need to put it out. We just need to make it.
And the world's a better place because you did. Not only because we have an awesome product, but like this is true inspiration. You literally, your studio burned, your stock burned, and like, all right, I got two options. I could just keep on driving, or I could pick up the cat and make sure everything's okay. Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But no, you really did. Like, you literally rose from the ashes. And so everybody out there who's going through hard times and all that, and I can't do this, I can't do that, you can. Like Mr. Rogers said, I always bring this up. Look for the helpers. There's somebody out there that will lift you up and help you. You can't do all this stuff alone. My life has become so much better because I found this scene and because I reached out to people I admired. Like right here on this page, like Levi Combs, I used to follow this guy before I was into role-playing games. I was following him in the beginning days of Instagram for the sideshow stuff. And it wasn't until like a year ago, I'm like, wait, you're American Mythos? Like Levi, now my best friend? I've known you for years. And then through that, I got to meet Hambone. And then even before that, through Pizza Party, Neon Lord sent that email. You got to send the email. You got to reach out. Neon Lord is the king of this. Like, he has no fear reaching out to people that he wants to get to know. And he says it to me all the time. I've learned from you, Brian. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no. Jeez, we ended up in a boardroom meeting with Trauma just because you sent an email. I was in my office trying to, we were trying to pitch something to the number one guy, not Lloyd, but the other one. Oh man, that was an experience. But all because you reach out. You're not going to make a scene. You're not going to get things going unless you get up, you dust off the SG, and you start playing again. It's incredible. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, guys.
Now, continuing the scene, two of my best buddies, my mothers from Mother Brothers, Hambone and Levi. Guys, you've been on the show a million times, but this is special. Now you're in the guest seat, all right? You're next to Ed McMahon now. Hey-oh! Ladies and gentlemen, these two have been pining away every hour of every day, no sleep, running solely on rippets and beef jerky. To bring you, well, actually, Hambone, you're the carny. Take it away.
So what we're here to talk about tonight and what we are so proud to present to the world is...
Hold on. As he's doing this, just listen to the tone. Listen to the rhythm. This guy is a master. All right, go.
So tonight, we're here to bring to you a third-party adventure for Weird Heroes of Public Access, Days of Future Fairhaven. It is a story about the power of friendship and how you and your buddies have all the opportunity to create weird stuff and save the world from an evil AI from taking over and destroying the hearts and the minds of everybody in the town of Fairhaven. And if you don't get the job right done the first time, the world.
Wonderful! What a powerful tag team. Black Belt Dracula himself. Wow. Levi, you crazy dog. First of all, right when I got home from school, I flipped through We All Have Secrets again, and I took a look at Levi's Lookout. You have 4 pieces spread throughout that. Chef's Kiss. Hambone, you got Paunch and Judy.
Yeah.
And Dr. Metal brings us to the shopping aisles of the grocery store.
Oh,
Vending machines galore. All of my friends represented. Levi, tell us the behind the scenes process of you two guys melding your minds to make this. I mean, guys, once again, you're nuts. This is what, 450 pages already?
80 pages. 80 finer pages.
80 pages.
Yeah.
Levi, how do you like? I know you guys are pals and all that, but how do you get down to business?
Well, John and I have written a couple things together before, and especially especially that very first one. I mean, we really had. I mean, we had a good time doing it, and through that process, like we realized that we have a lot. We knew we had a lot in common, but we really had a lot in common, down to kind of some little details and whatnot. So we had a good time doing those, and then I had some medical problems last year, and Hambone pops up, and he's just been a super good friend, and just been a great just a great human being. He's kind of held my hand getting back into the creative spin of things again. So through that, we both have this love of Fairhaven. I mean, I've told you a million times, it's my favorite role playing game. So getting back into it was, I mean, with WHPA was kind of a no brainer. We just started putting all of our all the ideas that we had banked, from all these sessions and games and talks, and we would meet. You remember we'd meet at cons and stuff, and we just, what should have been a 15-minute conversation would turn into a 3-hour conversation, about all the strange things of public access, or toys, or just monsters, or whatever. So it was really born out of that, and when you get right down to it, John's just he's one of my best friends, and he's just an amazing creative powerhouse.
I've learned it's very difficult to vend in a booth with all of you. Neon Lord, Levi, and John. We've gotten tables together, and we just end up coming up with 6 new zines, and they usually come to fruition, which is great. Especially Brian. It's like, all right, I remember I was at Arcane. What was it? ShireCon, when it was at the Theater Bry. Yeah. And I sit down, we give each other a hug. As soon as I sat down, okay, here we go. Dream Warriors. This is what we're going to do. And like for, a good 8 hours, we just planned a game. Yet to see but like it's just constant when you feed off each other. Yeah. Now, Levi, you mentioned it too. Once again, you could have thrown in the towel. The Levi and Levi connection is strong here tonight, folks. All right? Levi Nunez had the fire. Levi, you had a very serious medical condition. I'm not going to call it a scare, because it wasn't a scare. It was like life and death. And you lifted yourself up, you got yourself ready, you worked out, and now you're back to your fight and weight. And dude, I tell you this all the time on the phone and in text, but I could not be more proud of you. I think I can speak for all the rats, everybody here. We love you, man. You went through hell and back. You kept up being a great dad, a great friend. This guy calls me, everybody. Start calling your friends. That means the world to me. What a gift. But he kept going. He was near death. We were all very scared. And now he's back. And you're lifted up by friends, and you always will be. And so well done, man. So talk to me about the 2 guys on the cover of this zine.
So
John, go for it.
Black Belt Dracula was Levi's creation, and I fell in love with the idea of Black Belt Dracula from the start. And if you've listened to the Vintage RPG podcast, you've heard me on other shows. I always say that the 2 games that brought me back to actually wanting to play games was Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland and WHPA Fairhaven. Like these are the games that are my favorite games to play. And so, with the Fairhaven thing, I was so happy to write something for We All Have Secrets. But going back to the conventions, me, you, and Brian just shooting the breeze at that Total Con, someone mentioned something else, and then we started talking about, what if in the future Fairhaven was this, the Terminator, and it just all kept gelling. And the next convention, me and Brian were at, that's where Zombie Brain Eaters came out of, and then the ShireCon after that, that's where Seasons Eatings came out of. But ever since that Total Con, it's been percolating and trying to figure out how it would work. So Black Belt Dracula needed a partner. So I grew up in New Jersey with Uncle Floyd, so I filed some of the serial numbers off for Uncle Fred. But also making it so Uncle Fred is wearing black metal makeup because he's a horror host. And finding a way to spin a story that was really compelling, that we wrote it out. If you want to read it and run it kind of as written, it'll be short. But if you really want to explore the town, the fun part of Fairhaven is getting to come up with all these weird places and getting to to give them a life of their own, but just enough that the ref running the game can go and say, okay, I love these ideas. Let's see what these weirdos do with it once I present it to them. So, we found ways to kind of really flush out our version of Fairhaven, because, there's a Fairhaven in every state and in every heart. But we wrote a really compelling story, and it's something that's very poignant right now where, AI really is burning shit to the ground and really making it harder for artists to keep making art and keep trying to stay competitive in a world where, people are losing jobs and people are losing projects to someone who's putting in some prompts and then being like, oh, this is good enough, right?
Yeah.
So it speaks to that. It speaks to, not giving up when the whole world feels like it's coming down around you and everything's against you. Friends, and you got the power of friendship. You will find a way to persevere. I got to write some really, and it's something I talk about with my partner Gio all the time, with Hammock Publishing, and it's like, there are the jokes, but then there are the jokes.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of jokes, then I wrote some jokes, then I wrote a joke that is like a nesting doll of jokes, and I actually put up a picture of it on my Instagram today because I've been doing page previews. If the first person who goes and figures out what the two jokes are that I've combined for that one sight gag, I will buy you a pizza wherever you are. I'll
All right. Where do we look for this?
For a medium 2-topping pie.
Okay.
It's
Where
now.
can we find this image?
On my Instagram stories,
Okay.
right? And I told Levi what it was. He immediately got it, and it was. But it's two very specific jokes from the 90s and early 2000s. It's just so ridiculous, and that's the kind of thing I like to do. I like to, I ran it for NeonCon, and we got to play it. They had a blast, and having the ability to sit down with your friends, whether it's in person or over the computer, and to also do it with strangers is a gift.
Yep.
And then having people kind of get what you're doing as an artist and be able to kind of give that love back to and be like, and you could just see in their eyes the joy that they're getting from experiencing this weird shit you're creating. There's nothing better.
NeonCon 2 is what John Hambone McGuire is talking about, hosted by our friend here, the Neon Lord. It was a 2-day online convention, the second time around, heavily based on Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland, but there was some room for Ninja City, WHP. What else was run during that, Brian?
Mystic Punks.
Yes.
The Dinosaurs Attacks game, Bug Professor ran his thing. The Ninja City, some Neon Lords. I'm sure there was a couple more.
It was free, right, Bri?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All free.
Yeah. So Bri put together, with Hambone's help too, a beautiful online convention that, to Levi Nunez's point, really brought the scene together. I want to mention a couple other things that have come up in the chat. Brian Spellman's Make It a Fairhaven Night, 13 this week by Tim Snyder, Tony Weiss's Yardbirds, and our good friend Ian McCurdy with the Demon Curd of St. Aguzio. It is a very busy time in Fairhaven, and I can't thank everybody enough for the support, including Kyle. And Levi Nunez, your dojo is always welcome in Fairhaven.
I appreciate that.
Really
I have been tempted. I know when you made the call out for with your last Kickstarter, for submissions and things like that, I was really, because here in Southern California, we've had our own brand of public television, and it's definitely different vibe, different feel than what you guys have over there. And I feel like it needs some representation. I'm thinking, I don't know if you guys are hip to Wally George. Do you guys know who Wally George was in the 80s?
George, looks like that's a rabbit hole for this evening.
Yeah, you guys should look up Wally George. He was arch conservative guy during the Reagan era who he'd have punk rockers from Sunset Boulevard, and he'd chase them off.
I know what you're talking about. And he would yell all the time.
Yeah. Wally George.
I think Guar was on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would have just on purpose, and it would literally be in the tiny little studio, but he's actually Rebecca De Mornay's dad, which is the weirdest. Yes, it's such a rabbit hole indeed. But my point being, we have our own our own public television giants over here, Gene Scott, and
Gene Scott.
Yeah, so much stuff that would just Anyway,
Who was the guy who he would go around to all the different roadside attractions?
Huell Hauser.
That's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That guy.
You got it exactly.
So for some reason, Wally George has a connection to roller games.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
how about
The
that, Brian?
version with the alligator pit.
Yes,
that's the
exactly
one.
what I'm talking about.
That featured fine performances from such bands as Warrant.
There we go.
Oh man, nothing goes uncovered with this crew. Oh, I wish I could go on all night, but my wife is staring at me with her new, what is it? What's the t-shirt you got that I love? Wizards of Barge shirt.
I'm wearing the shorts.
What's that?
I'm wearing the shorts right now.
He's got the shorts. She wants the shorts. So you got a birthday coming up. She's got a chicken cutlet sandwich, and she's upset with me. You were supposed to bring down the kitten, but you didn't do that.
What do you think's the cutlet?
Domestic argument on the pizza.
The kitten ate the cutlets.
Yeah. No, the chicken
Hey,
is
you know
the
what?
cutlet, or the cat's the cutlet.
Darling, I love you, and thank you for always giving me the time to hang out with my friends in the basement and yell while you do the hard work upstairs. Let's give Mrs. Royale a round of applause. How about you come on and say hi to everybody? Come on, our first time ever on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, don't knock over all the stuff here. This is my Gumari, the one that keeps me going. Sarah Macrino. There she is. Thank you for everything, darling. I'll be right up. All right, well, another pizza party in the books. Kyle, Levi, Hambone, Dr. Metal / Ben, Brian the Neon Lord. You guys really make my life brighter. I don't know what I would do without you. Each one of you have put a drop into that punch that really keeps me going, keeps me smiling. And I think I can speak for everybody. We all have each other's backs. And all of you out there in Spaghetti Land, whether you're watching live or you're going to watch this later on, or you find it in a time capsule like the Canticle of Leibowitz, whatever, do something. You got the summer ahead of you. Yes, you might not be feeling great. Yes, your studio might burn down. Yes, you got to take care of your family. But take care of yourself and make something. It feels very good. Even if you're the only one that's going to read it, be proud of who you are, embrace it, lean into it, and like Levi Nunez says, write for yourself, and I guarantee you somebody else will love it. And Nunez, I'm going to quote you again because it was brilliant. This stupid game is important. that is one of the greatest pieces. I'm not going to even read Mr. Rogers thing at the end. I'm going to tell you this right now. That stupid painting, that stupid song, that stupid game, that stupid letter, that stupid beat you're humming in your head, it's important. It will save the world. I'm not joking. It'll bring people together. It'll build that scene. And scenes are important because scenes are revolutions. All right. That's all I got for tonight. Go out and do good. All right? Love each other. Love yourself. Joey loves you, baby. Have a great summer. I'll see you next month with some new craziness. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Take care.